All right, we're live on YouTube's about to start going live everywhere else. We are here with my lawyer, John Larson. John, how's it going? And for people that haven't watched any of these before, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Great to be here, Bobby, again. I appreciate you inviting me. We're a full service law firm, so we do everything from business law to protecting carriers, personal injury, you name it, we do it. Wills and trusts. We have several lawyers in our firm. We're out of Illinois, soon to be in Florida, but right now it's just Illinois, and we will take care of you, like we take care of Bobby here.
That's right. So how's the trucking law going?
It's going good. Actually, a lot of good stuff coming up, which we'll talk about today. A lot of good ways that I have to tell your carriers to watch themselves, whether it's in a regular, a trucking accident or whether it's going after a broker that has defamed you. There's lots of new stuff going on.
Do you think brokers are getting more scared now with the Carrier 401 reports than usual, or what?
Are they more scared to post anything? No, they're just as wild that they'll post carrier and highway posts, because it's set up to be where they're judge, jury, and executioner on those carrier and the highway posts. And that's the unfortunate part. Darren and Michael, they need to get together and come up with a system that allows a third party, independent party to say, is this a legit complaint? Because let's face it, when a carrier gets a carrier 401 report or a highway report posted against them, it dries up their business, a big part of it. So the brokers are too quick to put something on there, but the way to get around that is you've got to go after the brokers. You got to go after them hard. And I'm not talking about for stuff you did. If you did something like double brokering, you're not going to get that off. But if they legitimately defamed your company, and I see that happen a lot, if they legitimately defamed your company, you need to go after them. You need to go all the way. You can't do it with just a demand letter. No broker is going to take down a report from Carrier 401 or from Highway or anywhere else for that matter with a demand letter. I don't care how nasty that demand letter looks. It doesn't get taken down. Very, very rarely. You got to file a lawsuit. You got to be willing to go all in. And I've got an answer for that too, at least in Illinois.
Yeah, I talked to Highway. Actually, I got to talk to Highway a little bit. So they kind of like told me about some stuff they're going to be doing. I think they're trying to clean up their act a little bit. From my understanding is they're trying to actually like help out carriers that got turned off. You know what I mean, like unfairly. So it seems like they're working on all that kind of stuff. And then also, I think Darren's days are numbered because, from my understanding, the word on the street is that Highway is going to be coming out like their own little Carrier 401 inside of Highway. So I wonder how that's gonna look when they come out with that, and people are gonna stop using Carrier 401 and start using Highway completely.
Well, nobody's going to ever stop using either one of them. They're both going to continue to grow. Carrier does good business, Highway does good business, and they're going to keep it that way. And if a broker, this is my guess here, I'm just guessing here, but my guess that if the broker wants to post stuff and they can't post it on one site, they'll go post it on the other site. They're going to get their word in. A lot of times they're just trying to make sure they get their way. And there's good brokers out there. I'm not trying to paint them all bad, but they're trying to get their way to get the carrier to do something, to give up somewhere, or just to complain. But this isn't Google. Carrier 401 and Highway is not Google. It's not the place where you should complain, because you're legitimately defaming and putting a carrier out of business.
Yeah, I got some more complaints about your buddy from veterans too, man. Oh my goodness, dude. There's so many people. I think he just struck again to another person. Just reached out to me. I forgot. I don't want to like mention names, but yeah, he just struck again. Wrote more Carrier 401 reports on people, and like now he's like, I guess, asking people to like pay him money to take it down, or like I don't know what.
It couldn't be him. He doesn't. You're talking about through veterans. He doesn't operate veterans anymore. The guy that I think you're referring to.
He doesn't?
A new owner in veterans. No, there's a new owner in veterans.
Oh, he sold it, or they just like voted him out of there or something?
No, he sold it. But obviously, I can't disclose too many details. But so if something's happening now, there's a whole new ownership there that's posting stuff, if they're posting anything.
Okay. Well, this was like, how recent was this? Because this was a couple months ago. Somebody reached out to me and
well, again, I can't give too many details. Like it's public knowledge, and that's about it. But
yeah, it's crazy, man. So that's probably a good thing, man. Probably a good thing, because I think, in my opinion, I think that dude, like, I don't allegedly, supposedly, I think he just had like some kind of PTSD, and I think he just went a little too far with stuff, and I think he just like kind of like shooting himself in the dick a little bit with some of the stuff he was doing.
From a carrier standpoint, that might be how you feel. From different. You know me, Bobby. I try to get along with everybody. I do get along with everybody. I have nothing against Andrew. I think Andrew's a good guy. I could see though from just, your anger that you're angry with them. I understand a lot of carriers might be angry with them. I don't want to get into each individual action, what happened, because I don't know. I literally have not handled but one case that he had. But from what I know him, he's a good guy. But again, it's under different ownership now, so as far as that, it doesn't matter anyway on the on veterans.
So let's get into some other stuff. Let's get into like freight fraud. Are you seeing a lot of stuff with like carriers getting like their stuff used fraudulently, or like reports on highway like fraudulent, trying to fix that stuff up? Like, are you seeing more of that kind of stuff or less of that stuff?
I'm not seeing more or less of it. I'm seeing
Same.
I'm still getting a ton of emails from carriers pretty much everywhere in the country, which I don't handle things out of the country. Somebody's got to be in Illinois. Either the carrier or the broker needs to be in Illinois for me to be involved. But I see a lot of it still. I don't think it's going away. I'd say there's an uptick in it, not a downtick if I was going off of my email. So either I've gotten more popular or there's more carrier 411 reports and highway reports.
Yeah.
I would say that I've seen less highway reports by far than I have carrier reports. Carrier reports I've seen just as many as I've always seen or more. Highway, probably less.
So like, what's the most common scam you've been seeing? Or just people just stolen identity, or?
You got a lot of stolen identity. That's, in fact, I think it was a friend of yours up in Chicago that this happened to. But unfortunately, that was a highway report. But in that case, we weren't able to do anything for him. And that's where I started talking to Isaac from Highway on ways to get around this or to stop people from using fraudulent identities. Or, we have another case where somebody used a false email. And that one we'll go ahead and take to court because there's no reason that the broker should have used the false email and then tagged the carrier on a report from carrier 411. So that one we will sue, and you should sue on these. Again, demand is going to do it. They're going to still blame the carrier. Brokers, by and large, the ones that are just willy-nilly throwing up freight cars, they want to blame the carrier. They don't care to hear the real story. It's nonsense to them, and that's why you do have to file lawsuits. You have to go all the way.
Well, it's like broker negligence at that point if they accept a fraudulent email
Yes.
address, right? And
Yes,
then they don't check it.
Absolutely, yes, 100%. But again, that doesn't stop the carrier report from going up, which is what kills the carrier. So you might not get the carrier to pay for that load, but you will put a freight car, and that will affect his business.
So like the carriers are probably losing a significant amount of money because of this kind of stuff, right? I'm guessing.
Well, they got to jump on it right away. I don't want to share stories about my personal life, but I'll share a quick one. So as you know, I was in business before I became a lawyer. And in my business, I had a nefarious partner who stole lots and lots of money, lots of assets from me. I won a lawsuit against them eventually for $34 million, but everybody went bankrupt, and I got nothing out of it. So I have a $34 million judgment that I can't collect on. Had I had a lawyer on the spot that knew my business, that would have acted on my behalf, I wouldn't have a $34 million lawsuit. What I'd have is a thriving, growing business that would have been the next Starbucks. So it's important that people get to know attorneys. And I hate to say it, I'm not trying to push attorneys on you, but they need to know attorneys because those are the people that are going to act fast. If you get a freight car report, if you have somebody taking your identity, if you're getting accused of anything, call the lawyer. Make sure you have a lawyer you call me right away. If something happens, you or Maggie, you guys call me. I'm on lickety split. Everybody needs to have somebody like that to put this stuff to an end very quick. And eventually a lot of it will just die out. But if it all doesn't die out, at the very least, there's less likely that things will happen, bad things will happen and continue. People need to have a lawyer that puts a demand letter out there right away and then follows up with a very quick lawsuit if needed.
Yeah, like even with the contract, right? That I'm trying to negotiate right now with one of the equity deals, right? Like I send it to you, and right away you're like,
send it to me within a day, right? We're exchanging words, saying, hey, change this, change that. Be concerned about this. Be concerned about that. You got to do that. That's another thing. Everything has to be in writing. Everything, and that's what I was telling you in that email I sent you on that agreement you sent me. There's things there that you should be concerned about that really needs to be broken down into writing.
Yeah, because I would have signed it, and I would have, I'm not saying they're going to screw me or nothing, but I could have signed it, and then, that's a loophole for them, right? And then I end up getting screwed. So, do you think highway, like, in all honesty, man, like, just be honest, do you think highways like actually helping the trucking industry right now, or do you think highways kind of ruining the trucking industry right now?
If I'm putting my carrier face on, which I have a lot more people on the carrier side that I talk to, I would say yes, highway is hurting the business. But it's not because of highway. It's because Highway and Carrier don't have an independent third party, unless something happened in the last day or two that I'm not aware of. They don't have an independent third party looking at these complaints and say, wait a minute, here's the real story. Because Carrier has that where you could put your own story on it. But it's just like a credit report. If somebody shows you that you're a late payment, you put a little 100-word response. People aren't paying attention to that. They pay no attention to the response. They pay attention only to the initial complaint. So yes, it is harming businesses, but because they don't have a third-party independent verification.
So what would you say, like a mediation kind of thing they should have, you think, or?
I don't even think they need to go that far with mediation. That could get pretty costly. I just think they need a third party, a business. Right? It could be a business of anybody. It could be a broker, a carrier, and a lawyer, or a broker, carrier, and a doctor. It doesn't really matter who the three are. Just three people that'll look into it the same way that I, as a lawyer, will look into it and say, okay, because with my people in the carrier industry, they send me a freight card. First thing I do, I said, okay, here's what they said about you. Is this true? Go through the second sentence. Here's what they said. Is this true? Maybe one out of three things is true, but if two of them are false, well, we're going after the carrier. So you need the same diligence from an independent third party to look at it, say, is this true? Is this true? No, get it off. Take it down.
Do you think this is something maybe like AI technology could work? Probably not, right? It's probably
Oh
not.
yeah, absolutely. No,
Yeah.
AI technology is, listen, we're brand new in AI technology. This is like being at the very beginning of Bitcoin. If you learn AI, which seems like you are really getting used to it, Bobby, but if you don't know AI, if you learn AI, that's the future. You're going to be the next millionaire, because we are so early in AI. In 10 years, we're not going to have enough jobs, people. I think even Elon Musk said that we'll need to have universal income, because just AI is taking over everything, and it should. I mean, it's easy. AI answers these questions. You upload 20 documents to AI and it has your answer within 10 seconds. You give it to somebody else, it takes them 2 days. You can't beat AI.
Yeah, I mean, we're actually using like AI for like a lot more shit than I thought too, because especially now right now we're doing is like recruiting and social media for people. So I mean, there's so much like stuff on the back end, like building websites with AI.
Right? Yeah, you can build good websites with AI instead of paying $5,000 for a company.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Like he just goes in, builds a website like in an hour, and it looks like super professional, And then like AI callers for like truck driver. I mean, it's crazy. It's getting out of hand. Do you think AI is going to be able to help with fraud too, as well, or like?
Eventually, yeah, AI is going to help in everything. But let's face it, fraud's probably down on the, low on the totem pole as far as what these people that are designing this AI, they're probably more concerned with, medical discoveries or, something big. And so, yeah, they'll eventually fix fraud. But again, probably in the next 10 years, a lot of things are going to be different. The world you and I know will not exist today in 10 years.
Yeah, this is something I've been wanting to talk to you about too, because I know they're talking about like raising the insurance, right? Limits in trucking. Like, have you noticed that like trucking is kind of like becoming a new like ambulance chaser like thing for lawyers?
Yeah, absolutely. If you go to my website, I advertise truck sites. I do truck accidents. I mean, I opened an office in Lombard because it was the closest place to Addison. Addison has a great deal of trucks, as you know. So, I want to be close to Addison where the accident's going to happen. That doesn't make me a bad guy. That I'm doing my job, what I got to do, just like the next guy does. But I will tell you something, and I want to tell your whole audience of carriers the good news. Two things. Don't have too much insurance because you become a target. That's number one. Number two, we only want the insurance money. We lawyers, we very, very rarely go past the insurance. So let's just say, Bobby, I'm just going to use a $250,000 policy. You probably got more, but let's say the $250,000 policy. I got a client that has, let's say, $100,000 worth of medical bills, and he has pain and suffering. He'll probably have permanent injuries. Now, if I go to trial, I might be getting $1 million, but I'll usually talk to my client. We'll say, hey, listen, if we can get their insurance policy, you're good with that? Yes, I'm good with that. I don't want to, ruin the guy's life. Okay, insurance company, give us the $250,000. No, they want to fight. They fight because they don't care about you. They care about their pocketbook. So they're going to fight. Now, when I get that $1 million verdict, 200 for these coming from the insurance company. Now I am going to go after the trucker. I have to, because the insurance company made me, because they didn't want to give the insurance policy limits. The way to stop that is, if you are in an accident, one of the first things you want to do is tell your insurance carrier in a letter, a written letter, certified mail, handle my policy within the insurance limits. If you do that, you are protected, because now if I get $1 million policy and you give me that proof that you send that letter to your insurance company, you could join forces with me and we will sue your insurance company, collect for you. So always write your insurance companies and tell them, hey, I want you to settle this within the policy limits. And the way to know if you're already in that position is, if you get called for a deposition, your case has a chance of going to trial. Or at the very least, you've already been sued. Why do you want a lawsuit on your hands? Before the lawsuit is filed, tell your insurance company, settle that policy, settle that within my policy limits.
Now you do this before when you get your insurance or when an accident happens?
No, when an accident happens. So if
Okay.
I got an accident today, I might not do it the day of, but I will within a week or two write in certified letter to my insurance company said, I don't know what's going on, but I want you to settle my claim within the insurance policy limits with the plaintiff or the the soon to be plaintiff before it gets to trial or before it even gets into court. Force them to do what they're supposed to do. Insurance companies, they got us for our house, for our cars, for our life insurance, our health insurance. I mean, whatever you have, it's got an insurance policy on it likely, and they're making all the money. They're making more money than banks. Okay, don't
Seems
be
like
shy
it.
about telling your insurance company to settle within the policy limits. You're not protecting them. You're not protecting anybody. They're not going to say, "Hey, Bobby stuck with us while we, went to trial, so let's not keep Bobby that next increase we have next year." No, Bobby's going to be in the increase. But they're not going to do you any favors. Don't do them any favors. Look out for yourself. You have to look out for yourself all the time.
So why? Oh, so why is it so attractive for lawyers to go after these? Like, if it's such a hard time dealing with insurance companies, like say, example, like Lloyd's of London, or like infamous for not wanting to pay out shit.
Oh,
So, yeah. So why is it still like so attractive for lawyers still to go after it? Because we just like a for sure payday, or
Well, it's because we have to defend. We have to advocate for our plaintiffs. So if I have somebody that has a broken leg or a herniated disc or some other chronic problem that's going to maybe last forever, why shouldn't they get money that they deserve? They should get the money. You're going to just let the Lloyds of London or anybody else get away with it? No, you go after them. And yeah, some of these cases take maybe 6 years to get the trial because the courts are slow and the defense for the insurance is slow. They try to get things slowed down but you got a pipeline. Some cases settle within 6 months to a year. Some cases settle between a year and 2 years. Some go to trial 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. But you always got a pipeline you're always working with. It's never all bunched up in one stage. So yeah, so if I got a case that lasts 6 years, so be it.
so that's finally when like people like Lloyd's of London finally pay out is when a court tells them to. Otherwise, they don't.
Well, a lot of times, yes. Defense attorneys for our work, they work for the insurance companies, even though they're representing the insurance, the insured. They really represent the insurance company. That's who's paying them, and that's who ultimately that I believe that they care about because I'm not seeing anything else. I'm not seeing that they care about the person that is being sued.
Okay, so like everybody, like you keep on hearing like nuclear verdict, right? Everywhere, every time something nuclear verdict, nuclear verdict. What the fuck's a nuclear verdict?
Verdict would be like a $30 million verdict, a $50 million verdict. Yes, they happen. I've seen one happen in Chicago. In fact, one guy was suing somebody. He got $51 million. And I don't know why, but the defense appealed it. And so he was talking to the jurors after the case. He goes, "Why didn't you give me $60 million?" And the jurors said, "Well, because you didn't ask for it." So he redid the whole trial and he asked for $61 million and he got that. So yes, that is going to destroy a company very easily. But again, the way to stop that is tell your insurance carrier to settle within my policy limits. And don't be a target. If you've got $10 million of insurance and you should have $1 million, you're going to be a target. Why wouldn't you be? I mean, people are going to see that big insurance policy. They want a piece of it.
So like nuclear targets never, I mean nuclear or whatever settlements, you never heard that before. Is that something new that just recently they started using
No,
that?
that's always been there. No. Nuclear verdicts have been a thing since lawyers have, been able to get verdicts.
So you think like trucking's probably like the most affected one, right now for like the lawsuits and stuff like that, I would say, right?
I would say the most affected. I would say there's a definite uptick in it. Maybe because there's, everybody's looking for more business, lawyers included, but again, I'd look for motorcycle accidents too. It's not like I'm just saying, hey, I just want trucking accidents. No, we want any accidents we find because that's the lawyers I have that's working for me for personal injury. I've got to, they got to keep their families fed. They need to make money. So it doesn't matter whether I'm advertising for it or somebody else is advertising for it. Somebody's going to take the case.
Yeah, but it just seems like it got a lot more popular lately. Like it was never like, like before you didn't see it. You always seen like the motorcycle crashes on the billboards on the highways, right? But now it's you see the truck. So it kind of seems like
word's getting out. Now, as word gets out, of these bigger verdicts, yes, people are like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't notice that the trucker, they have higher insurance policies. That's what you want. I mean, when you get a guy with a 1982 Oldsmobile, they probably got a $25,000 limit liability. It's not going to be in too much. You get a guy riding a big truck with the bed in the back and, everything else, he's probably got $1 million or more in policy, and that's what you're after. You're only after the policy. As lawyers, I don't know of a single lawyer that wants to go after a person. They always want to go after the insurance company. I think they have the same built-in thought that I do. It's let's get even with the insurance company.
I'm surprised that Morgan and Morgan guy hasn't got into that shit yet because I see him advertising everywhere. I'm just waiting for the Morgan truck crash
Well,
billboards, man.
they're everywhere, but I mean, it's like a franchise license set up. Obviously, it's not Morgan, but it is their name, and they did great growing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
down
I
in
watched a
Florida,
few
so
podcasts with that guy. He seems like a super smart guy, man. I guess
very
they both.
smart.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's constantly posting. I think the last one was posted how to game the Golden Corral buffet. So
Oh,
he's that's what it was. I think his post was about how to game the Golden Corral buffet. I'm almost positive that was it. It was something like that. It was funny. John Morgan's a good guy. He's a funny guy. But very, as you said, very smart. He created a great system and it works. It works in all the states.
yeah, I guess he built like the whole computer program to where basically where they just get the lawsuits and then pass it like the people on his network
Yeah,
and they just collect fucking commission all day.
it's just a beautiful system. Yes, unfortunately, the rest of us, we can't afford that beautiful system. But yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah, he
AI.
was explaining like he had to lose a lot of money. Like when he goes to different markets, he would like invest a bunch of money, lose like millions at first, and then he would, then it'll finally break through and then they kind of made sense. And yeah, but like so I kind of like listen to the show, like, I just kind of hear like different people like what they did, what kind of strategies they use, and yeah, super
Right.
smart and obviously super rich at this point, right?
Well, I always say the reward is commensurate with the risk. Okay,
No.
so he had to put a big risk when he put all that money out there, whether to grow or do the whole new AI system. You put a great deal of money out there, millions upon millions of dollars, and it worked out for him. So that's good. Good for him.
So like what do you think is like one of the biggest misconceptions like truck drivers and carriers have like about lawsuits?
Misconceptions that lawyers are scary people. We are not scary people. There's a
So,
lot of lawyers I know that try to act like they're scary people, and it's funny as hell to me. Like when I get a lawyer letter, like we're going to do this to you, we're going to do that to you, like who, there are a lot of blowhard lawyers out there. I think I told you this before, Bobby, but I'll say it to your audience here. I don't like 90% of lawyers. Okay, I just don't. I think they are a lot of blowhards. But the people that I know seem to be good people. The ones that I talk to are good people. When I get a good lawyer on the other side, I know it because they're not trying to, down me personally. They're talking about the case. They're saying, "Hey, how can we settle this case?" It's the other lawyers that say, "I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that." And by the way, you're ugly. They don't say that part, but those are the guys that I know they're just going to be trouble. They're probably bad people. I don't even want to deal with them. But yes, it's that doesn't make them good. Okay, that just makes them blowhards. That's all.
well, not
So
everybody's nice
I would
as you,
say that
man.
lawyers are scary people. Lawyers are not scary people. Lawyers are some of the friendliest people I know, the good ones. Some of the friendliest people there are.
Yeah, but most of them are scumbags though. I mean, there's not many that are
So I
good
just said, yeah,
are nice
90%
like
of them. I don't
you.
like 90% of them. Right. I agree.
Kind of like used
Yeah.
car salesmen too. Dude. like that's like I mean, a lot of lawyers they are scumbags. Like, dude, I mean, coming like as a person, me being a person that dealt with a lot of lawyers, and not a lot of them are as nice as you. You know what I mean? A lot of them are not just completely, out
Well,
there.
I think a lot of them just don't care. I care. Well, you know that. You and Meg, I care about every one of my clients. I really genuinely do. There's a lot of cases I take even, without even charging people. I like people. I want to help people. I feel that is my calling. Do I want to make money? Yes. But, it's very important to know your client on a personal level. It's very important to know your client on a business level. One of the things we started doing, speaking of business level, is for $350 a month, people pay us. We give them not only one-on-one service, but we go through all their contracts. We give them X amount of free contracts, free demand letters, free calls, free texts. So if something does happen, they call me up, "John, I got a problem." Guess what? John's answering the phone, or maybe Jordan's answering the phone, or Andy's answering the phone because they got a lawyer, a law firm that knows who they are. To me, those are the law firms that are going to last in AI. The people that have a personal uh, thing with their clients, that know them, know their business, and know all about them.
It's actually a pretty good idea for the trucking. I mean, that'd probably be a no-brainer for the trucking companies, right?
To me,
It's
it's
like, hey,
insurance. I don't know why. I'm just going to sound funny. I don't know why everybody isn't paying me $350 today. It's literally a no-brainer. You have a lawyer that literally knows your business. He's gone through all your contracts. He knows you. He knows your family. He is taking your call, taking your text. You're worried about something. It's better than insurance policy, but it's something new that we've just started out because I think that's the only way you're going to have this one-on-one service. AI is ruining everything in some cases, and it's too easy to forget that you still need the human element, at least in law.
yeah, I mean, 350 is crazy because you figure like a demand letter is anywhere from like what 750 to $1,000. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Just for a demand letter.
I just got a call for a demand letter just the other day. I'm charging $900.
Yeah.
Where if had they been on my service, they'd been do it for 350, and it's in your monthly plan. I'm going to do it for you. But also, hey, if you got nothing, give me your contracts. Let me go through your contracts this month. Or maybe you want to negotiate a contract. I'm going to negotiate a contract for you. You're not paying me extra. And if you do get that call like I did, that somebody just stole your assets, You don't have to pay $10,000 retainer to somebody that doesn't even know you or your company or your business. You just call me up or call one of my associates up. Hey, this is Bobby. Hey, Bobby, how's it going? How's the wife? Blah, blah, blah. We know your business. You tell me what's going on. We're on it. Don't worry. We got it.
Sorry, go ahead. Finish up. No, go
No,
ahead.
I'm just going to say that it's very important to have a personal relationship with your lawyer, especially this day and age. Better than insurance policy.
Oh, dude, 100. Like when we had the pronoun lawyers before, like we'd finish court, and then like usually, like, every time I finish court, my lawyer would, like, if like this is like, obviously like on Zooms, whatever, they're like, oh, schedule a fucking meeting with us like a day or two later to find out what happened in court. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean schedule a meeting a day or two later? Like a lawyer and a fucking client talk after court, and you go over what the fuck happened. Am I supposed to not know what happened and then wait like 2 days to schedule a meeting? They're just crazy. Here, let's get into the insurance policy limits, right? They're talking about, I know like New Jersey raised it already. A couple other, like they're thinking about like raising it. Like, do you think that's going to like affect even more lawsuits once the government forces to raise the limits?
Course. Absolutely. I mean, if you don't think, you obviously think that lawyers are going after trucking companies now, yes, they're going to go even more because of the insurance. It doesn't matter even if it's on, just forget truckers for a minute. Even if they raise the minimum Illinois from 25,000 liability to the minimum was 100,000, my God, lawyers would be happy. They'd be like, all right, cool, more money, So yes, it's going to affect everybody. Your insurance rates are going to go up. Your rates for, you guys driving around trucks, you got to raise your rates, which means the end product at the store goes up. Everybody's paying more. So, less government involvement there is what we need.
So who do you think is going to get hurt the most by this? Like the carriers, the insurance companies, or?
Well, insurance companies are not going to be hurt by this. They're just going to raise their rates. Insurance company aren't going to take it. No, if they have to raise the limits, they're raising your rates. That's just how it is. So
even if there's like a lot more lawsuits that come in, like they still
carriers will immediately feel the pain right away. They'll feel the pain the first, and then the last person who feels the pain is everybody else that's buying anything at a store.
So if you own a small trucking company or not, this is something you'd be worried about then?
No, because it raises the rates on everybody. It raises whether you're one truck, 10 trucks, 100 trucks, 500 trucks. Everybody's got the same rate increase, so it's kind of across the board. Nobody's going to suffer more than the other. You could say, well, I've got one truck, so I'm going to suffer more. No, they've got 500. They're going to suffer more. But no, it's prorated. So no, it's going to be equal suffering on something like that.
Have you dealt with any like camera shit, like any kind of like accidents or any kind of lawsuit involving like when they're using the dash cams and like the forward facing cameras? What do you think about them?
I love them. I think if you don't have a dash cam, I don't want to be mean. You should have a dash cam. Absolutely, have a dash cam.
What about the inwards facing cameras?
Yeah, because you do want to. A lot of people say, well, he was texting, he was doing this, he was that. Why not have a camera? Why not? This is a day and age where I almost feel I should walk around with a camera when I'm talking to somebody, because some people just can't handle talking about anything anymore and they want to fly off on you. At least if you got a camera on your chest. But yes, to answer your question, yes, an inward facing, outward facing camera, great idea, because it shows that you weren't texting, you were paying attention to the road, and they can't use that as an excuse to try to get more money.
But if you did do something fucked up, then they are going to use it as an excuse against you.
Yeah, well, don't do something fucked up.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to do. Plus, it's like, I kind of think
well, then turn the camera off before you do that. If you're going to do some, effed up stuff, then turn the camera off.
I wonder if you could. Like, I mean, you probably have to be able to turn it off, right? Because when you're like, I still wouldn't trust it. I'll put like a bucket over it or something. It's fucking. I don't know. I wouldn't like it, dude. I would think.
No, you're like me. I do the same thing. I always wonder who's seeing me, who's hearing me. Even though everything's off, you never know. Yeah, how many times you think something, it seems like you see it on Amazon the next day.
Yeah, right. Tell me about it. So it's either I guess it's a good thing if you're not doing nothing wrong, but it's a bad thing if you are doing something wrong, because then they're going to bring up and then you're going to get screwed for it. Anyways, but a lot of drivers don't want to even drive for these fleets that have these inward facing cameras.
Well, again, it's meant to protect people. It's really not meant to hurt people. It's really not meant to invade their privacy. And I get that. That's what they might think it is. It's not meant for that. It is just because a lot of people will just flat out lie, say, hey, he was on his phone. He was doing this. He was doing that. And the driver will say, no, I wasn't. Well, who's the jury going to believe? I don't know. It depends on which lawyer's telling the better story. Yeah, so if you got the proof to say, no, I was not on my phone. I was not texting. I was not, reading a book. I think that's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
I understand why people don't like it. I don't like it either. I don't like any inward facing cameras. I don't like it, but I get the point of it.
So like how many losses do you think could be avoided because of these cameras? Like if you got proof, I mean, pretty much as long as you got the proof.
None of them would be avoided. I think the jury awards would be far less because when somebody is accusing you of texting, okay, that's gonna madden the jury. The jury's gonna be very angry with that. Oh, he's gonna be texting, driving that big 18-wheeler, and he's texting. How? That's it. 10 times the amount. You know, they raise the amount because they heard something bad. But if you got a camera that shows no, he wasn't texting, now they're mad at the plaintiff. They might not even award the plaintiff anything. So
yeah, but that is crazy too. Like I can't believe even like they let you go so far in court. Like you can't just like here's evidence. Look, and then like let's not continue this any further, right? It's fucking crazy to make you go through all this shit.
You can, and that's called a motion in limine. So before trial, I got a trial coming up in July, and we're there on June 25th to go over motions in limine, where you say we want to leave out the evidence of them saying that Bobby was looking at his phone. Why, Judge? Because we've got the video that proves it, that he wasn't looking at his phone. They've acknowledged it. Everybody agrees, and therefore they can't talk about it. And that would stop them from bringing it up in a trial.
Got it.
But sometimes the judge rules against your motion limiting. So
let's get into carrier for one a little bit more. So what are the actual options that carriers have? Say, for example, like somebody or highway bad report, right? Like, because it's like really devastating when it first happens before the report even goes up. Like brokers don't even want to use you. So like, what are some things that carriers could actually do that might, work to help them when they get these reports?
Two things you can do, and it's just life and it sucks on this part, is number one, respond to the carrier report. Unfortunately, like I said earlier, that is going to do nothing for you other than put your side of the story. So if a broker does decide to go the extra mile and read, which some of them do, to read, why they report this freight card, it might help you. But the bigger thing is immediately contact your lawyer. This is again why you want to have a lawyer that right away. Contact your lawyer so the lawyer can immediately put a demand on the broker. The sooner you get to the broker, the more likely you are to take down the freight card, because they realize this is going to be fraught with a lot of money and a lot of time. You're not going to get off this easy. I'm going to go ahead and file a lawsuit. The sooner I file that lawsuit, the better the chance that they're going to voluntarily take down that freight card if it is in fact a lie.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm going over. You're defaming my client. You're going to pay for that. You're going to pay now, or you're going to pay later, or you can get off the easy way and just take the dang thing down. Because nobody wants to go to lawsuits. The carrier doesn't, the broker doesn't. And trust me, even once they get in too far, they want out. No one wants to stay in those lawsuits.
Yeah, no more lawsuits, please, dude.
Lots of money. I mean, there's lots of money.
I'm lawsuited out, man. I don't want to go through.
My goal is to get the carrier out of the lawsuit too. I'm not trying to get the carrier into it. No, I say you got to sue. What I mean by that is you've got to start the lawsuit. You've got to show that you're willing to
scare the shit out of them. But then you got crazy people.
That you're willing to stay there the whole time. That's another thing I should probably start doing. I should probably start to tell the carrier, I will, for this low rate, I will take the case all the way to trial. That way they can literally say, I'm going all the way to trial. I already paid John Larson the money. So that's, you got to be willing to have that mentality though, that I will take it all the way to trial. If you have me filing a lawsuit and in the back you're saying, please take that down, and I'll tell my lawyer to get away with that lawsuit, he's not taking it down because he knows you're afraid. He knows you're not going to go through the lawsuit. You got to have the mentality, I'm going all the way. And you got to have that mentality from day one.
Yeah, a lot of these brokers too, man. Like they don't understand, like especially if they're working for a company and they think they're tough and like they think nothing's gonna happen. I wonder what their bosses say when like somebody actually does slap a fucking lawsuit on them. Like, dude, like what the fuck are you doing, or like what's going on? Because like if you get to the point of the lawsuit, like the damage has already been done. You already lost the money, so you might as well fucking, even if they take this shit down, you might as well just take them for damages, no?
Right? I mean, a lot of times it's over a $1,500 load. Why would a broker want to spend $100,000+ on a lawsuit? They probably don't. I would say 99% of them don't want to, and they'll get out as quick as they can if you jump on it right away. Yeah, again, I'm not talking about the stuff that's really printed. I'm talking about the fake reports that are just defaming people because the broker's angry.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of those, man, because they'll make shit up. It's also good too. Like people should have really have recorded phone calls, or try to keep everything by email, so that way you have some kind of like written proof, right? Because a lot of times like brokers, like I got screwed because I was traveling for content, and then like I talked on the phone with a broker, and I was like, hey, listen, like, because they snuck in an appointment, right? And they told me it's first come first serve, and I went, and then the driver got stuck over like Labor Day weekend or Memorial, whatever weekend it was, and then like I couldn't prove it, right? Because they had the rate confirmation, so then I couldn't just go back to a call and be like, here, listen, this is what they told me. I know the rate confirmation said this, but then they do shit like that sneaking. If you don't have the proof, then you're shit out of luck,
Email or text, anything you get. Anything in writing, email or text, email, text, email, text. That's what you want. You want to limit the phone calls, not because you're not a jovial guy, but because you want to avoid the very circumstance you're talking about, where you get accused of something that didn't happen. And it's your word versus his word.
Yeah. Now, when like brokers and carriers sign agreements, because like we've seen this recently, My wife was dealing with it, but like a carrier actually like sent back red line contract, right? Do you think more carriers should be doing that, or do you think the brokers are just going to tell them to screw themselves? They won't set up with them, like because like, especially with
Some
contracts.
brokers some brokers will tell you to go screw yourself. On the larger loads, most of them will work with you. Most will say, okay, I get that. You don't want to do arbitration, or you want a forum clause that's, not out in California or not in Washington, because you live in Illinois. You want a forum clause closer to you. So yeah, I would absolutely, especially on a bigger contract, I would redline that. Absolutely, 100%.
But
And
then
if
like
somebody doesn't want to let you redline it, you got to question their motives.
yeah, but I think like smaller, because I feel like a big trucking company and the brokers like, okay, we need them, then most likely they'll want to do that shit. But like a smaller carrier, I think that a lot of brokers will be like, just go fuck yourself, don't even get signed up with us.
Well, yeah, it's going to be hit and miss. You're going to have some people that are going to say, absolutely not, we're going to do it. But I don't think anybody's going to tell you to go screw up. I think what's going to happen is they'll say, hey, if you change that, we're not going to be able to deal with you. And that's where the carrier has to make a choice. I could sign this contract, get my $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, or I could not sign it. But I would first try to redline it. Yeah, absolutely. But again, that's where have your lawyer look at it real quick. Just look at it, change it. Things I always tell you to look out for are forum clauses and arbitration clauses. Those are the two most important things. You don't want them.
Save you
I
money.
mean, you want the forum clause, not the arbitration.
I'm sorry, you don't want the arbitration?
You want the forum clause. The
Okay.
forum clause says that this lawsuit will be handled in my state.
Okay.
And you don't want arbitration because arbitration is costing a lot of money and nobody has to accept the results. So you're going to spend $2,000+ on arbitration, just the arbitration fees, plus what you pay for your lawyer. Then you get the awarded arbitration, and then you say, well, now I want to go to trial. So arbitration doesn't work unless it's an arbitration that that it prevents you from going to trial. Which
So, what kind of cases you seeing a lot now too? Like, are you able to talk about any of that super ego shit or not really?
Not really, because I still have clients that are asking about it. So no, not really.
'Cause I had a couple of lawyers hit me up through my contact on my website. I talked to one of them a little bit, and then a couple more reached out. But I'm like, I think I don't want to beat a dead horse anymore, too. So like,
yeah, you're beating up a dead horse, but there's so many companies involved in that. Like all they're all related somehow. Every time I look at a company that I want to sue, you find out that they're somehow related to that. It's an odd thing going on there.
yeah, and then like, because from my understanding is like the cutting the drivers, right? When they stole the money, like the rate confirmations. I mean, could they even get in trouble for that? Because they probably took it like under a different MC. That MC cut it and then gave it to the other MC and then gave it to the driver. Do you think they're going to get in trouble for any of that kind of stuff, or is it more they're going to get in trouble because of the safety stuff and the accidents and all that kind of shit?
Probably the safety stuff more than anything, but if it goes all the way, I don't think it goes all the way. Big lawsuits like this end up getting settled. How many times you've gone to a one of those mail-in things where it says, hey, you want to be part of this class action lawsuit? You find out you get $1.87 at the end of the trial, but the lawyer's got $2 billion. Lawsuits settle. That's fact of life. And I think this one eventually settle. I don't think anybody's going to get in any trouble down the road when the dust settles. And it's going to be several years down the road.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. And I think they already broke up into so many smaller companies. They're probably already like, I don't think they could rebuild that big again though, or at least not for a while, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, they've been fine out. They're getting in trouble, and they're gonna destroy their company, but it'll still be settled though. You still got insurance policies and whatnot that's going to take care of this. But yeah, they'll never be that big. But somebody else will replace them.
Yeah, because from my understanding, they actually did shit like, I mean, besides obviously screwing drivers over, but like the whole like lease program, how everything was separated, I think they kind of did it like the right way, right? Where you could actually do that and lease the.
No, they didn't do it the right way. No, absolutely not. No, they did not. No, and that's why one of the big reasons they're being sued. When you misclassify people, which is one of the main things, if I go after one of those companies, it's definitely on the misclassification. I get to keep it here in Illinois. I get to make it just state law. I don't have to go to federal law, and I try to keep it different enough to where it won't get into the super ego lawsuit. So misclassification is a big thing. I can't go through a list of defendants that I have that I'm suing for misclassification, but misclassification. One thing I always do, I will call up the company first, and I'll also send a letter saying, hey, this is your one chance to settle. You probably want to listen to me because I'm going to win this. It's just the way it goes, pal. I'm going to win it. So give my client, this happened once, give my client the $1,500 you owe him. Because if I have to sue you, it's going to be so much worse, so much more. And we're going after all your other fake employees because they're not tenant contractors. They're an employee. And this one guy, I'm not going to say his name, but this one guy in Illinois, he waited until I filed a lawsuit. As soon as I filed a lawsuit, he said, okay, I'll give you the $1,500. Okay, now you're gonna give me $1,500. Now you got to give me a little bit of money for my time, and you got to pay for the court costs. He did. He actually ended up using me from then on for his lawyer because he realized that I was a good guy. I was a nice guy. I told him how this was going to happen. I didn't sit there and throw a bunch of threats. I was just matter of factly. But as far as the carriers should know this. A trucker should know this. Everybody should know this. When you call a plumber, Bobby, to your house, do you have the tools for the plumber?
Yeah,
No,
I know where you're coming from. I
no,
love
you don't have the tools
1099.
for a plumber. Do you tell a plumber, I want you here between 1 and 2. You better be done by 2. No, he will tell you when he's going to be there. In other words, there's no control you have with a plumber. Why? Because he's an independent contractor. If the person has control over you, you are likely an employee, at least in Illinois. And that's where the misclassification
I
happens.
know, but it's
That
such
is why
such a
all
good
that super ego in
program.
all those companies.
And that's why, like, I get it. Like, Like, if a company screws the driver over, then go ahead and do what you got to do. But like a lot of, like, most drivers want 1099, you know, and they get it. And then, like, later, like, if something happens, then they start crying, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna sue." But like in cases like where the company did screw the driver over, I completely get it, right? But I just think like if everybody keeps going after 1099 and they get rid of it, people are gonna really be pissed off because they're gonna lose a lot of money to taxes.
I get it. And 1099 helps everybody. 1099 helps the broker. 1099, I mean, the guy that's renting you the trailer helps them, helps the trucker. But you're right. You got to use any tools. When the guy ticks you off and he screws you over, he takes money out of your check and you end up with a negative check. Yes, you should complain. If that's the only way you got to do it, is you got to say, okay, well, I'm going to pretend that I was an employee now. I'm going to, but that should prevent people from trying to screw you over. When you do something like the 1099, you better be nice to each other, because if you're not, somebody's going to use that against you.
Yeah, and always something always happens, no matter what, how good everything goes for a while. Something bad's gonna
Right.
happen.
So if you're paying somebody 1099, you better be nice to them. You got to be nice to them because they're gonna, end up suing you.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, if you said over $1,500, the dude should have just paid the $1,500 out the bat and just
Right.
continued.
But you'd be surprised how much they wanted to fight me. Again, I'm not saying name, but I probably had 20 something emails back and forth with this company telling me why they're not going to pay me, why I'm going to lose. And I kept on saying, well, no, here's the statute. Here's how, I gave them case law. I gave them everything. I tried so hard to be nice to them because I liked them. I did like them. I did not like them. They were nice in their emails. They weren't threatening, just very nice. But yeah, they would have lost miserably, but they got out just in the nick of time.
So give me the craziest case that you had in trucking that you could talk about.
I could talk about,
or at least dance around the fucking.
Okay, this is a weird one. I don't know if it's crazy. It's crazy to me because I still can't believe we actually ran the case. So this guy's driving a truck, 18-wheeler. He's driving a truck, and his girlfriend was in the seat next to him. And I'm not giving you any names, so I'm not going to tell you what state it was. And a car barrels into the back of him. So the person behind him that is driving the van goes underneath the truck, and they're gone. They're dead. Okay, they decapitated, and the trucker walks out of his vehicle and he sees these decapitated bodies, and he sues. This is before I was not his lawyer to begin with, but then he hires a law firm to sue the insurance company of the van that ran into the truck because he had to see that. He ended up walking away with $100,000 because he saw that.
Well, yeah,
now,
PTSD,
I was the one that settled the case because the lawyer that had the case originally wanted out. I'm like, well, you went far enough. I might as well finish this one up. Even though I guess it didn't necessarily agree with the case, I was more amazed that it went this far. That wow, they're actually in it. I'm surprised. So we ended up getting $100,000 for him, and that was probably the craziest one I had. But the weird thing, one more caveat to there, the guy kept on taking out these loans against his lawsuit because a lot of companies offer you money in your lawsuit. By the time it came for his share of the money, he had nothing left. He got nothing out of it because he took it for loans. So very angry guy. He was not happy with that, but that was on him. He took the loans out, not me.
So what about a case that you thought you would win, but you lost?
I've only lost one case my entire life. So
that
one, I don't know if I really expect to win. That was a drug overdose case, but I guess I always expect to win cases. But that one was just one where a guy died of a drug overdose, used the drugs on purpose, and he died. And I sued the doctor because the doctor still should not have prescribed. When you prescribe opioids and benzodiazepines, that's what I sue doctors for. And somebody dies. They create addicts. Okay, when a doctor is prescribing opioids and benzodiazepines together, that's like a clonazepam and a fentanyl or something like that, hydrocodone. That affects your respiratory system, your central nervous system. It goes down, you stop breathing, you die. That's what I sued doctors for. This guy was a constant trying to commit suicide, everything else. And so we lost that one. I guess I expected to lose that one, though. That was the only case.
What about the opposite? The one that you lost, what you thought you're going to win?
I don't think I've ever, there's one. Okay. Yeah. So there was one where a guy called me up 2 weeks left before he goes to trial. This is in Bridgeview. And he says, John, he goes, I want you to take the case. I said, Jim, there's no way that you're going to win. I'm looking at the case. You're going to lose. And he's like, you got to take my case. I don't got a lawyer. So I went in, I talked to the judge. I said, Judge, can I please have an extension? I'm just going to be new to this case. You have trial in 2 weeks. He goes, no, it's set for trial. We're going to trial. I'm like, all right, sorry, Jim, I can't take the case. He goes, please, I'd rather pay you than lose. Or pay you than whatever he said. I didn't hear the rest. I said, fine, here's my price, but you're staying out with me all night because I'm going to just train you what to say. We literally spent the entire night. I said, Jim, I want you to use these 3 words in every sentence that you're asked, whether it's the plaintiff's attorney's asking you or I'm asking you. Use these 3 words over and over again. I'm going to use them in my opening and I'm going to use them in my closing, Jim. And he goes, okay, John, I'll do it. We practiced all night, literally all night, Bobby. I'm kid you not. Next day, we got trial. Every question they asked, they didn't even notice that every time he using the same 3 words because it's a big, long sentence, but those 3 words are embedded in. In my opening, it's embedded in. Now, time for my closing. After 4 hours of trial, short trial, 4 hours. My closing, I said, Judge, they didn't prove their case because boom, boom, boom. I used the same 3 words that we had been using all day long. The judge, he goes to his paper, he's writing. He goes, okay, I'm going to fine for the defendant because, and he has my 3 words. So that was one case where we kind of had to use a psychological warfare with the judge to let him see that it was these 3 words that he needed to find that we won. I'm not saying we deserve to lose. I'm saying, though, it was a very little technicality we won on, but it was good for the day because we did it over and over and over again. I always say, and it's on my website, every case is winnable. Every single case. There's no such thing as a losing case, at least from my standpoint. There just isn't. Every case is winnable.
All right, let's finish this up with rapid fire questions. I got some written down here. We're gonna do highway, worth it or not?
What do you mean by worth it?
Like is it good or not?
The carrier?
I guess good or bad. Highway, good or bad?
God, I know this could be rapid fire. Only if they'd be good, only if they had a third-party independent investigator, otherwise bad. Same for carrier.
Okay, that's the second question. What about carrier for one, good or bad? So same answer.
Bad because they don't have an independent carrier. I like them both though. They're not bad. The idea was good. Not having a third-party independent is bad.
What about nuclear verdicts, man? Are they fair?
Nuclear verdicts
unfair?
bad for everybody. But at the same time, you don't want to cap that crap because if you cap that, then you create people that just do whatever the hell they want. So
inward facing cameras.
I'm positive.
But what if the driver wants alone time? Dash cams. Obviously, that's a must,
that's
right?
100%. That's a double thumbs up. Cisco would say.
Freight guard. What do you think is going to happen in the next 5 years with freight guard? Do you think they're going to stay in business, or do you think highway's going to take them over?
I think freight guard's going to adapt.
You think so?
They're a smart guy. They're going to adapt. Yeah, absolutely. They're not going to let highway just take the road.
I think they are. I don't think they're going to let them. I think highway's going to take their lunch, but we'll see.
There's never going to be just one company, right? It's never going to happen.
Insurance costs, better or worse in the next 5 years?
Worse.
What's one trucking regulation you would eliminate?
I would shoot. It's a million. I don't know. I'm not thinking about it. I don't know if I have an absolute answer on that because you're talking about absolute. There's a reason for everything, so
I would just answer for you.
I guess I would change. I wouldn't eliminate it. I would change the load amounts.
What do you mean?
What is it? 80,000 now? The load?
Oh, for the pounds?
Right.
You would change it to more or less?
I would change it to more. Because yes, my understanding, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm misinformed. My understanding is that if you're outside the United States with a truck, you get a different load variance. And I could be wrong, but I understood that to be that way. If that's not the case, then I'm going to retract my answer. But as I understand that the case, it's got to be fair for everybody. But yeah, when I moved, this is a bad example, but when I moved, they could only fill the truck one half of the way because they said my load was too much. Well, come on, I got to get another truck to move my house.
I know. I agree with you. I think it should go up higher than that. I mean, 80,000 pounds is still a lot.
Oh, I don't know if it's 80,000. I'm sorry. I'm just using that as
no, it's 80,000 like truck and trailer and load together. I think it should be up a little bit. I think 80,000 is a little bit under, man, because I think like even the drive
whatever it is, it's too little because I'm telling you, I couldn't.
You got too many gold bars, bro, in your fucking safes, bro. I think that they can't.
I had some weights for weightlifting, but that didn't account for that much. But it was sad though that I had to pay a whole nother truck or throw some stuff out to move my house, when I moved. And I thought that was crazy because it just didn't make sense. There wasn't enough on that load to be dangerous.
Oh. Okay. Biggest threat facing trucking today?
Biggest threat, I would say, are the carriers. Carriers 411 and highway. That's the biggest threat because of their lack of a third-party independent view. Because what they do, they hurt good carriers. I see it all the time. I get a good carrier that gets hurt because of a overzealous broker.
Last question.
That's not saying all brokers are bad, and that's not saying all carriers are good. I'm simply saying I see that too often.
Okay, last question. 50 unit trucking company falls in your lap tomorrow. What are the first things you're doing when you start running that company?
I'm going through every one of their contracts. I'm telling them how to adjust the contracts, how to negotiate new contracts, because all contracts have to be adjusted for forum clauses, get rid of arbitration clauses, or if you have arbitration, make it binding arbitration. And then looking out for the carrier, the 1099 versus the employee. And also looking at some of these leases that they have, which are also terrible, terrible, terrible things. Leases are terrible. Always throw your leases past the lawyer.
Awesome. Cool, John. Thank you. If you want to let, John, now you're all over social media too, right? Are you on Instagram or no? Because I don't think I see you.
I'm on Instagram and on TikTok and Facebook.
I gotta find you on Instagram. Yeah. Facebook and TikTok obviously got us. If you guys look it up, his contact information is right there. If you zoom in, you'll see it. Shoot him an email. He's a great guy. He's been, we've been working with him for a little bit. He's a super nice guy. Definitely going to help you too. I know even if you got a couple of questions, just shoot him an email. He'll be more than happy to answer it, and then I'll send you an invoice. Now, just joking. Awesome, John. Thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate you jumping on. We'll definitely do it again. We got to keep doing it.
All right, Bobby. Thank you very much. Thank you for anybody that's listening. I appreciate y'all. Have a good day.
All right, buddy. Later.
Bye.